Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us today for our Councilor-at-Large Candidate Forum. My name is Kelsey Dorado, and I'm the Director of Communication and Marketing here at NYLA. I will also be serving as your host this afternoon. With us today is Anna Canino-Flute and Joanne Kukulis. These are the 2019 candidates for Councilor-at-Large. To pose questions to our candidates, please write them in the Questions tab. Attendee microphones are muted. This helps ensure that our candidates can be heard clearly. Thank you again, and let's get started. So our first question is, what makes you excited to be on the NYLA Council? And Anna, why don't we start with you?
I'm really excited to be up for NYLA Council because it will be an opportunity to work with librarians across the state. One of my favorite experiences of how is collaboration with librarians all over the state. So being on the council and knowing what is happening all over is what I'm excited about.
Thank you. And Joanne, what makes you excited?
Hi, everyone. Well, I'm really excited just to be a part of this organization, to be able to connect with other people who are in our field and connect and communicate ideas and what is important to the librarians at large.
Thank you. And our next question is, how has your experience as a librarian, specifically a school librarian, prepared you to be NYLA Councilor-at-Large? And Joanne, we'll start with you.
Hi. Well, being a school librarian is really an amazing endeavor, and as you all know, if you are a school librarian. And basically, you're working to support the love of reading, work with and support curriculum, preparing students for future success, and providing programming. And I think those things as a school librarian are major factors in communicating ideas among ourselves with NYLA, with academic librarians, and also public librarians to really bring forth the ideas and connect everyone and their voices.
Thank you. And Anna, how has being a school librarian helped prepare you to be on council?
I think as a school librarian, we often have to work independently, self-starting, but work with a broad variety of people. Like you, not only are you serving your students, but you're also making sure that teachers have what they need, that you're often in communication with parents and other members of the community that come in and out of your school building. So you're often being pulled in many directions and connecting with people who have very diverse needs. So as a school librarian, I think I'm prepared to look at the needs of NYLA as a whole, whether you're a special librarian or you're working public library in an urban environment versus a rural environment. I think I'm familiar with the idea of like reaching out to many people and different needs.
Thank you. And our next question, in your opinion, how do you think NYLA can better serve school librarians as a whole? Anna, we'll start with you.
I think we can do more beyond our annual conferences. I mean, I love our annual conferences, and I think the resources that NYLA has been providing for continuing education and lobbying is fantastic. But I think a lot of us sometimes, especially if we don't get the opportunity to go to those conferences, sometimes feel left out. So maybe more virtual relationships with our community.
Thank you. And Joanne, what do you think?
Hi. Well, I think that NYLA is doing a very good job right now fostering the needs of school librarians across New York. And I think that just keeping that communication open, using the social media channels as well as webinars, and also going for professional development whenever NYLA provides these services and other school librarian conferences. I think that all of these things together, it's not just one thing, that really helps us, as a whole group of school librarians to really get what we need. But NYLA, I think, is doing a great job already. But of course, keeping that communication open and continuing on the different types of communication channels is really equally important.
Thank you. And if you're elected, what is one project or policy matter that you would like to see the NYLA Council work on? Joanne, we'll start with you.
Hi, can you hear me? I'm sorry, just to make sure.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, sorry about that. I just wanted to say that I really think that some of the issues and topics that are at hand right now, including leadership, funding, library staffing, and all the types of things that go along with technology are really key ideas and things that are focusing on school librarians' minds at this time. I want to see what else is really important to everybody and be able to channel that back to NYLA and back to our resources and connect with the other librarians as school librarian at large. So it would be nice to see more connection and just to continue these hot topics and see what else we can do for our school librarians.
Great. And Anna, what is one thing you would like to see the council work on?
I would love to see the council continue to work on increasing their diversity initiatives. I agree with Joanne that we need to continue to support school funding for library staffing, all the things that are making it difficult for librarians across the district to, across the state to do their work. But I think I would love to see more work in encouraging leadership opportunities for people of color and other marginalized groups.
Thank you. And how did you first get involved in librarianship, and not necessarily school librarianship, but how did you get your start? And Anna, we'll start with you.
I started as a parent. I was a parent taking a child to a library. I grew up in Puerto Rico where there's not a strong tradition of libraries. And so it wasn't until I really had the opportunity to take my own children to the library that I started realizing that that was a thing that appealed to me. I ended up going to Syracuse thinking I was going to go ahead to be an academic librarian. And there I met Blythe Bennett, who sort of like, no, I think you should consider school librarianship. And gave me sort of the challenge to consider that. And after doing internships in a lot of different settings, I realized that that's really was my calling, to teach children critical thinking and give them opportunities to learn for themselves.
Great. And Joanne, what about you? How did you get your start?
Hi, well, this is my second career, so I did not start as a school librarian. Later on, I went back to school for teaching, and it led me to the world of the library because I love reading and I love books. So working with children is the second, my most favorite thing to do. Excuse me. And looking at all the walks of life and the different backgrounds students have and how diverse they are, it really helps to try to facilitate the needs of these students and families across districts. And so I started for a very long time just in teaching and then librarianship. And then I actually went to get my PhD in information studies, and now I'm doing research in school library. So my focus is school library. It's something I love to do, and I want to continue that.
Great, thank you. And could you talk a little bit about any type of previous engagement you've had with NYLA? And Joanne, we'll start with you.
Hi. Well, I've most been involved with ALA and AASL and the local organizations as well. So NYLA is really more branching out now that I finished the PhD, and I'd like to continue serving for school librarians now that I can, and just really continue this space and really promote school libraries across not only New York, but across the nation. So really, New York is amazing, and our teacher school librarians are awesome. And I just want to make sure that to promote them as much as possible, along with all us librarians at large, because I think that really we need a voice out there to help each other and help everyone achieve our goals. It's not one person who can do it; it's everyone, and I'm sure Anna feels the same way.
Great, thank you. And now Anna, you can answer that one too.
I first got involved with NYLA while I was still a student at Syracuse. That's something that really encouraged us to do. I attended my first conference while still a student, and it's now become something where I am able to connect with former classmates and with people I've made partnerships with over the years. So I've been, I presented at NYLA and I presented at NYLA SSL, and really that's been my primary connection in terms of professional development with the sort of the community at large. I've had an opportunity to go to ASL and I would love to return. But I agree with Joanne that we really, there's so much more we can be doing as a community to support each other. And I would love to see more and more partnerships across the branches of librarianship.
Great, thank you. And we have one more question in the queue, so I'll encourage everybody to get in those questions, their last minute questions as we answer this one. Anna, we'll start with you, and the question is, you both work with children or young adults. How do you think that experience has influenced your ability to be a leader and your leadership style?
I think with children in particular, we have to be really careful how we question and listen. There is a lot of pressure on children to comply and to give you the answers they think we want to hear. So you sometimes have to just spend a lot of time listening to really find out what they actually need. And I think that's something that will help me on council. I want to spend a lot of time listening to my fellow school librarians and for librarians across the community.
Thank you. And Joanne, what about you?
Hi. Working with children makes me so fortunate, and really it makes me so happy. Working with them along with professional development and teaching other teachers in the district or at PD in other venues and conferences, it just gives us the opportunity to see what other people are learning, what they need to learn. It gives you the diversity of all different people and what the needs are, and also conforming and changing things up to see what we can do and what more can we do going forward. I think working with young children is a blessing, really, and people always say you have a lot of patience, and I think it's amazing that either with working with adults or children, you really have to listen. Just like Anna said, you do have to listen, and stop for a moment. And I know that's hard to do sometimes, but to really see what's going on and actually how we can help.
Thank you. And before we wrap up, I want to give you both an opportunity to give any closing remarks or anything else that you want to say about yourself or why you want to be on council. And Joanne, we can start that with you.
Hi. I wish Anna best of luck, really, I do. This is not something that we are against each other, but we're for the same purpose, so I really think that either one of us will do a good job. So whatever works out in the end. And I think that really just doing what we can for NYLA and the voices of school librarians and communicating those ideas and concerns or issues or hot topics among the public and academic librarians, along with our school libraries. That's what's most important here. So I thank you for the time.
Thank you. And Anna?
Thank you, Joanne. And I agree with you. I think number one thing is our willingness to serve. It should be our recommendation to be on the council. And I really appreciate your willingness to serve. I think more and more as I grow as a librarian, I really think this is part of where I can give back. I have a supportive district and I have a supportive family, though that allows me time to give back to the community at large, whether it is serving on local library councils or local community, but I would love to have the opportunity to serve our broader community through NYLA Council.
Thank you both so much for taking the time this afternoon to talk to our membership at large. I really appreciate it, and I know they do as well. And I would just like to thank everyone again for taking the time this afternoon to learn a little bit more about our candidates. Thanks again, and have a great afternoon.